here in the Grand River Center. Dubuque wanted their own home promotion, and DCW is here to provide. Welcome to Dump City, and welcome Casey Jax as he makes his way to the ring. Casey tearing it up all over the Midwest scene. Trained at Black and Brave. Merrick Brave, Tyler Black. You may know Tyler Black under another name, but I'll let you Google it. The crowd is excited to finally have their own promotion here in the Dub. Jax removing that jacket and getting himself ready for action. He's got an opponent that he's familiar with.
His opponent, also hailing from Dubuque, Iowa, weighing in at 205 pounds, Dominik Zagreus.
Dominik, another fella, trained at Black and Brave. So these two know each other, but I wouldn't say they're friendly. The intensity of Dominik Zagreus always impresses me every time I see him come out. And you know, with both of these guys being trained in Black and Brave, that this fight could go anywhere here in the GRC. Dominik slightly less experienced than Casey. We'll see how that benefits or doesn't benefit him as the fight progresses. Referee checking in with both of them, making sure that nobody's trying to smuggle in any weapons or that they're prepared to go to battle. Pomp and circumstance is about to end, and DCW is about to begin. And the bell. Who's in charge of the bell? Oh, wait. I think I know who's in charge of the bell. That was embarrassing. Sorry about that. I was so excited about watching this match, I forgot I was supposed to ring the bell. Chalk that one up to a Willie mistake. Not quite a handshake, but not quite unsportsman as we get it started. Collar and elbow tight in the center of the ring. Dominik's got a bit of a size advantage, and he took advantage of it, getting that arm wringer on Casey Jax. Dominik wrenching that again and keeping him away from the ropes. Casey rolls. Flips out, and now it's Casey Jax getting the arm wringer on a Dominik Zagreus. Zag trying to get to the ropes. Casey pulling him away before he can, and now Zag is going to roll, kip up, and get the arm back. Both of these two have their targets acquired, trying to work down the arm. Nice reversal into the hammerlock from Casey Jax, going under rather than going the same way that he did previously. One arm cartwheel for Zag to reverse into that hammerlock now. Some great chain wrestling here at the beginning of the match. And now Zag, I thought that was Zag forcing Casey down to try to ground him, but Casey was actually the one using that leverage to get out of the hammerlock and now going to the head of Dominik Zagreus. Considering how back and forth they've gone with reversing those arm locks, pretty smart of Jax to get that headlock, and even smarter for him to throw himself at Zag and knock him down with the shoulder. Dropped out by Dominik Zagreus. Zag up and over. Catches Casey Jax in that hip toss. Arm drag taking him over. Zag gets caught by Jax now with an arm drag of his own, and Jax Drop kicking Dominik Zagreus to the mat. No clear advantage yet between these two athletes. But Casey Jacks looking to change that. Hooking Zag up. Zag not quite ready to go up for the vertical suplex. Zag blocks it again. And now to try to punch his way out of it. If all else fails, throw a fist. Zag with that fisherman suplex. He's got that hook in. He's got the... almost had the pin. Casey Jacks out at the last possible moment. Both of these two, Dubuque natives, in front of their hometown crowds. And I don't know about you, but when I'm competing in front of my hometown people, I want to go that little extra mile to be that impressive, especially if people who've known me for a while are there. Zag looks to be thinking like that after that series of stomps in the corner, and he's collecting some deserved adulation, but he shouldn't waste too much time. Jax will recover, though Zag now takes him down with that headlock. Jax only onto the knee. Zag was trying to jerk him all the way down, and Jax wouldn't do it. Jax now has the hair. Referee just barely gets out of the way before Jax throws Dominik Zagreus into the corner. Casey Jacks with a hard chop. They heard that one out in the parking lot. And now sending him into the opposite corner. I like the movement that Jax is doing. Moving him around from corner to corner. Trying to disorient Zagreus. I don't know if I like the choke in the corner. That's just dirty. And the referee reading him the riot act over it. Jax pulling Zagreus out now. Whips him around, and that's a rude awakening of a neck breaker. Casey Jax with the cover. And Zagreus is not done yet. Even as he holds his neck, it tries to work out some possible tingles after a neck breaker. Jax trying to ground Zagreus. Front face lock. Thought for a moment he might have been attempting a guillotine, but I think he's content to try to ground Zag while he figures out a strategy, although Zag is far from content in being grounded. O'Connor roll. Zag to the side. Bulldog. 2. And Casey Jax not done yet. A nice innovative way for Zagreus to get that Bulldog to just roll to the side in that O'Connor roll. Jax had to be thinking that Zag was going to try to pin him, and he wasn't. Although now Jax using the trunks to send Zagreus into the ropes. And Jax is going to go back to the one thing that's been effective for him the most so far, and that's the choke. It's dirty. It's against the rules. But it is effective. Couple of nice knees from Casey Jax. And now has Zag in the corner. Climbing up to get that leverage. And Jax gonna start raining down punches onto the open head of Dominik Zagreus. And I was just about to say that Zag may not know where he is right now. And I'm glad I didn't. Because catching him with that elbow and that boot, Zag's awareness is much better than mine would be after taking a bunch of punches. Although not quite well enough to not get sent to the mat by his hair by Casey Jax. Zag still getting that shoulder up. Jax contemplating his next move. Suplex. For someone with only 3 years in professional wrestling, Casey Jax seems so composed in there and sends Zag butt overhead with that DDT. And now Jax is getting frustrated. Thought the suplex, thought the DDT was going to be enough. And Dominik Zagreus is just not staying down. Already back to his feet, using the ropes to hold him up. Jax sizing him up from the opposite corner. Casey Jax runs across. Collision in the corner. Jax wants to do it again. And meets that elbow of Dominik Zagreus. And a super kick from Zag. Axe bomb, double axe. And again from Dominik. And that energy is starting to course through him. Sling blade from Zag. Is that going to be enough? Going for the cover. Jax says no. It might have been a bit of a premature cover for Zagreus. But forcing his opponent to expel that energy to kick out is only going to work in his favor. And Zag might be thinking of something dangerous. Building up momentum. Tope Suicida through the ropes. What's up, danger from Dominik Zagreus. Bringing everybody in the GRC to life. Jax looks lost as he lays there on the floor. And Zag gonna get the man in the ring. I get wanting to show off in front of your hometown crowd, but you've also got a match to win, Zag. Zag going all the way up to the top rope. And that time that he took, the extra time, cost him. Jax knocking him off balance. And Jax leaping with that drop kick, sending Zag all the way down to the floor. And now Jax might be thinking of causing some danger. Tope Con, hello. Didn't get all of it. You could see that Zag was still up. And Jax just said, hey, get on your back. And gave him a hard shove. Casey Jax now going to start making his way up. You could see the match taking its toll as he tries to climb these ropes. It's Zag now taking the advantage. Leaps up. Hard punch. It's got him hooked. And a superplex from Dominik Zagreus. But does he have enough to be able to get the cover? Both athletes flat on their back right now. And the referee starting to put that count on him. If neither of these men can answer that 10 count, this match gets thrown out. It's for the wrestler's safety, y'all. But Zag already up on his knees. Zag on his feet. Jax on his feet. And Dominik Zagreus says, bring it. And Casey Jax does. Zagreus brings one of his own. Hard chop from Casey Jax. And Zag is not to be outdone. Big elbow. And one in return. Both athletes getting staggered back. And a rising knee from Casey Jax. And a windup on that forearm. Nice kick with the shin to the side of the head. Casey Jax hooks him up. Blue Thunder Bomb. Is that going to be enough? I'm not sure where Zag keeps finding the energy to kick out. But he is. Maybe it's being in your hometown promotion, in your hometown. Dubuque's first hometown promotion. Dub City. Going for a twist of fate. Zag throws him off, getting Casey trapped in the corner. Casey elevates him up and over. Zag lands on the apron. Zag now climbing all the way to the top, leaping with that hard forearm. Jax looks like he might be out. And Zag doesn't seem sure of it because he's lining up for one more shot. Getting everybody here in the GRC behind him. Jax out of the way. And that twist of fate from Casey Jax gets the cover. Leg is hooked. And still, Dominik Zagreus says no. Jax trying to make his way up. Zag trying to make his way up. But Jax gets there first with that knee. But Jax may have Zag in his landing zone. Moonsault. Zag out of the way. Jax saw it. Landed on his feet. Drop kick from Dominik Zagreus. Zagreus getting the space he wants. And uses that knee to drive Jax's face to the mat. And Dominik Zagreus picks up the victory. Or did he? The referee signaling that there may have been a kick out. I thought that was it. My apologies, y'all. But Zag says, all right, if that wasn't it, I'm going to make sure it's it right now on the top rope. Jax out of the way. He was trying to hit that knee again, but this time from the top rope. Jax going to take advantage of that knee that he just hit the mat. And he's going to take him to school with the figure four and has him trapped in the center of the ring. It's going to be a long crawl for Zag if he wants to get out of this. Zag getting it turned over to try to crawl away. But Jax, so smart, pulls him back. Switching to that single leg crab. Right on the knee. And Zag taps out.
By submission, Casey Jax.
Back and forth the whole way. Both men wanting to win in front of their hometown. But at the end of the day, Casey Jax just held on a little longer and outlasted Dominik Zagreus to pick up his first victory here in Dub City Wrestling.